Hi, welcome to my next video. This is the 7th part of the Tokyo by Night series. I know that I'm not going chronologically through these, but I wanted to keep things interesting for you. This painting was really challenging. It has a lot of layers, it has a lot of elements that are kind of geometrically complicated, like the scaffolding on the right side and the buildings. Some of them are even at different angles, and the staircase in front with the barriers. All these elements make it difficult to sketch and to get the perspective right. So this time I spent a lot of time trying to get the sketch as accurate as I could, but at the same time I'm trying to get the lines as light as possible. I'm trying to get the sketch as light as possible, so even if I forget to erase it in some places, when I color the piece with watercolors, the sketch will not stand out too much. And I also find that working with a pencil that's too soft or just using it too hard with too much pressure can damage the paper a little bit, especially if you erase some mistakes a lot. Then the pen or the watercolors will not work on the same paper so well. Okay, I erased the sketch after I finished the lines. I did them again with the COPIC Multiliner, the 0.5mm one. And I start coloring the piece with my Schmincke watercolors, the Professional Horadam series. And I'm using here my main set, which holds 60 colors, and in a piece like this, having a lot of colors speeds up the painting process tremendously, because I want to recreate here this realistic effect where things have just different shades of color on them. Even if it's a slight variation, adding it to the picture helps to recreate the atmosphere of the scene. So here, for example, for the sky and the walls of various buildings in the background, I used different shades of blue, and because I had a lot of them in my palette, I could get the color variation I wanted really quickly. I didn't have to mix everything from scratch, and in the end this saved me a lot of time and effort. This is also why I like my Schmincke set, because even though I'm using different blues here, most of them have similar qualities like strength and saturation, so I can use them like this easily. Another challenge was getting all the sources of light in this picture right. There are a lot of lights that shine on the street and they all have a different type of glow. I especially like the kind of violet one that shines in the middle of the street. I wanted to especially recreate this one. Probably the most enjoyable part of this picture was doing the foreground, which is dark, really dark compared to the background buildings. And I had a lot of fun here because when using good watercolors, it's kind of easy to get these really intensive dark blues and dark grays, and some of the parts are like dark red and blue mixed together. I especially like to use in those cases the Caput Mortuum color, which is a dull dark red, really intensive. It has been lately called Indian red on the packages, and it's perfect for making these kind of mixes. And also the indigo color is really intensive blue that even just a little bit of the paint on the brush makes the color really dark and intensive, so it's perfect for this kind of mixes too. I had a lot of fun making the foreground darker and darker with all kinds of passes, with all kinds of textures of the darker colors, and adding small grains, adding small texture effects, like the small cracks in the pavement and small stones and gravel here and there, some reflections and shadows from the guardrail. It really helps to bring the foreground to attention and to make it a foreground. If it has a lot of detail, if it has a lot of texture, it kind of looks like it's close to us. The last step in completing this picture was adding some fine highlights with white opaque paint on its own, or by mixing it with just a bit of blue watercolor. I wanted to add some highlights on things like fences and cables, and also add some halo effects around strong light sources. Okay, this is how the picture turned out. You can see it in better details in my blog. I have all the pictures from the first 10 illustration series gathered there, so you can see all of them in good quality. Okay, that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. As always, feel free to comment, share and subscribe, and you can also support me on Patreon. It's your support there that helps me to do this kind of personal projects and then show them to you. Okay, that's it. See you in the next one. Bye.